I'm starting an experiment. Can you change your life in 12 months? Hi. Before we get into that, I need to take you back 3 months. In December, I decided enough is enough. In 2025, I'm going to make the proper changes to turn my whole life around. Step 1. Tidying up with Marie Kondo. I figured following Marie Kondo's steps is a good beginning because your house reflects your mind. And mine was a total mess. I didn't know exactly where I was heading, but I did know I had outgrown the person I was. And that also meant I had outgrown most of my clothes. They just weren't me anymore. So I gathered all my clothes and I asked myself, do they still spark joy? But I also added another question. Do these belong on future me? In the end, well, you'll see what happened in the end. Enjoy. Yeah, I managed to donate about 70% of my clothes. Step 2. Project Pen. In January, I started Project Pen. It's where you get all your makeup, skincare and hair products together and try to use them up before buying something new. It became the one thing I was genuinely good at the time. Because in all honesty, physically, I was feeling pretty bad. Here's some of my products. And these are all the products I started using in January. Yeah, that's not even a quarter of what I own. Step 3. Clearing out papers and books. I couldn't ignore how awful I felt physically as I moved on to this step. And sure enough, I landed in the hospital with gallbladder stones and was told I needed surgery. This is me finishing my papers after spending 4 days in the hospital. You can see how slowly I moved. On the one hand, I was relieved to finally have a diagnosis. On the other hand, I was slow, totally inactive, and stuck with these random intense moments of horrible pain. But I didn't let that stop me. I still held on to my goal, change my life. At the end of January, I got my gallbladder surgically removed, and recovery could begin. So yeah, even though the year didn't start the way I thought it would, since surgery I haven't been sick, and that feels like a real win. Recovery took me a while though. The books were easy. I wanted to keep most of them. I also wanted to get a clear overview of every other area of my life. So I began tracking my time, my finances, and my health. If you want to feel bad about yourself real quick, try doing this. But jokes aside, it gave me a lot of clarity about what I was struggling with, certain patterns in my life, and habits I hadn't noticed before. I'll talk about it later. Back to the video. These are the books I'm not keeping. These are the books that belong to my brother. And everything else, I'm keeping. What I'm trying to say is, this time matters. It was the groundwork. The messy, painful kind that doesn't look like progress, but is. Being sick forced me to slow down and sit with myself, with my fears, my questions, my discomfort. And somewhere in that stillness, something began to shift. I wasn't having fun in 2024, so I figured, if I'm not enjoying life anyway, why not try building a new one, for real this time? Fun or not, the time will pass either way.